Well, I was hoping I was going to have a bigger smile on my face. You don't need me, who's been in the game as long as I have, to see it. Every England fan, everybody that supports England can actually see it. Is there a fear now that they don't want to make that pass for the fact that they might give the ball away? She's the manager saying to the players, look, if I put Ivan Toney on, right, listen, it goes to him. In terms of, yes, you need to worry about them in terms of their status and what they are as a nation. They're very beatable if we get it right.
We're back for another episode of No Tippy Tappy Football, brought to you by William Hill. And I'm here, as always, with our Sam. How are you, Sam?
Well, I was hoping I was going to have a bigger smile on my face, obviously through the last game that England were playing against Slovenia. But unfortunately, it's still a worry, a big worry based on the performance. And I think that we're going to look at that. We're going to have a look at the team he's picked, substitutes he's made, and I think that he's come out with a big interview about the pressures of the position, and I understand that no more than anybody. But within that pressure, you have to be capable and able of making the right decisions, and I do think that some of the decisions that have been made are contributed to the lack of performance from the team. They all must take responsibility, but we all know as managers, Gareth knows just as much as I know, it's it lies with us. And I just hope that that they've won the group, which is a big bonus. But when you look at the group, we had the easiest group in terms of the teams that we played, where they lie in the international table. We've seen them off before quite easily, and we've done, unfortunately, nothing but struggle in terms of creating chances and shots on target and scoring goals. It's just been so disappointing.
So we'll get into that Slovenia game and some of those decisions that you mentioned there. But England did finish top. They are through to the last 16. They're going to be playing Slovakia. Of course, we like to remind people that you are the only England manager with a 100% record.
Against Slovakia.
That win was against Slovakia.
Yeah.
The first, September 2016, a 1-0 win.
A 1-0, yeah. Adam Lallana scored the winner.
Was it?
Yeah, Adam Lallana scored the winner, and I can remember because it was my first game, so proud as anything, But I said to Sammy Lee, we'd completely dominated the game, it was away from home. I said to Sammy, if we don't win this game, get ready from one almighty criticism about what we're doing, even though it's just number one game. They won't hold back, So Adam Lallana relieved an awful lot of pressure on themselves, on me, and on everybody else, So that's the pressure of being the England manager.
Is being the England manager, even though it didn't go quite to plan, is that still the proudest moment of your career? How do you feel?
Oh, there's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about the fact that they invested in me, and unfortunately didn't let me repay them what they did. Through lots and lots of reasons that I've gone into before. We don't want to drag over the old scenario again, but obviously it was heartbreaking. But and also for me, I'm bound to say this, but it was a decision they didn't have to make in less than 24 hours. I don't know what forced them into making that decision, but it was really poor and shocked, to say the least, shocked to not have an opportunity to defend myself. Because I think if I'd have had an opportunity to defend myself, I might still be there.
Oh wow! If you were still there, that would have meant it had gone very, very well.
Well, it would have mean that it would have been me proving to them that all the hype and all the rubbish around it was false, So, but it was what it was, and it still plays in my mind, particularly in tournaments, when I look and say that might have been me, but it isn't. So I've wished England well. It took me a while to even look at England again, but I've wished England well you know, for a long time now. Want them to do well, but unfortunately, I can't not criticise this time. I've, you know, always tried to be positive, always seen what the England are doing, always seen what the quality of the squad is. But at this moment in time, the underperformance is playing for, you don't need me, who's been in the game as long as I have, to see it. Every England fan, everybody that supports England can actually see it. So we need to kick up the backside and get our act together very, very quickly, because it's knockout stages. There is no comeback now. There is no other game. There is no what if. It's got to be done and dusted in the next round to get to the next round. And from there on, the knockout stages brings an awful lot of pressure in those particular games. And can they handle it on the negativity that's around them at the moment? And they will feel it. They'll all know it's happening. And we all want them to bounce back and get out there and show us what they can really do.
So we'll get into England in detail, but just a quick mention on Scotland, because obviously you said that you hoped you were going to come in here a lot more happy.
That's right.
I hoped I was going to come in here a lot more happy as well, obviously.
Well, there's one decision that is sometimes it's out your hands, and that's the penalty. Because everybody says that, you know, well, you know, it would have been a draw. No, I believe, well, we don't know quite what it would have been, but I think had Scotland got the penalty and scored it, they'd have won 1-0. I mean, Hungary only won because Scotland left 7-8 up because it was in the last minute to try and get a goal, like you mean. So,
it's gutted,
it was a really when you can say that they didn't create as many chances as they would like and all, but Scotland's squad is all about togetherness, discipline, waiting for the right opportunities and trying to take them. They're not quite as creative as other teams that are there. You know, they haven't got a Gareth Bale, so they have to work as a team, battle as a team, create as a team, only as a team, of course, and had a few opportunities, you know, on set pieces and in around the box, you know, you're looking for that one bit of luck that goes your way, and the one bit of luck didn't come their way, but also massively bad decision that apparently wasn't even looked at by VAR.
I didn't think it was a penalty, you know.
Did you not?
No.
Well, you are silly.
Considering I'm pretty biased as well.
There's nothing more certain than that was a penalty.
You think?
Oh.
I just kind of felt like he was backing into him.
No, he took his leg on the second phase, brought him down. They give far less penalties for that in this competition.
Maybe I just don't want to think about it.
No, perhaps not. But I mean, it would have been nice to see him in this round.
Oh,
you know, just like it was Wales a few years ago.
It really is all I wanted. It was the hope that really, that really killed me. The permutations of where people ended up finishing, with France finishing second in their group. England can basically get all the way to the final without playing France, Spain, Germany or Portugal.
Well, I think that's how fortunate we've been. I mean, if you take us back to the last World Cup, when Gareth took over, I mean, I thought our journey on that stage was a team that was not really fancied to go all the way, and they got through all those teams, like you mean. And I think they did lose third and fourth place to Belgium, you know, when they lost to Croatia. But you know, I think that if you look at the Wembley final against Italy, and you think what an opportunity it was there, and then you look at what Italy have done since. So I think it shows that Italy weren't any great shakes because they didn't qualify for the World Cup. They don't look great now. So that was another opportunity that was missed. So, and this time we got through the group by not playing well, but the opposition, you know, haven't tested us really, have they? No. It's just our poor performance. We've not really been tested by a team that's, you know, got a bit more quality than the three teams we've played in the group stages.
Yeah, they seem to have really struck lucky with the side of the draw, and
better being lucky than good sometimes in this game.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely.
What we need to do is the players to step up and produce the performance of what individually and collectively what they're capable of. We can talk about this system, that player, him playing here, he should play there, he should play here or there. The system will mean nothing unless you play your best. Now, it could put you off your game if you've got the negativity about the position you're playing in that you're not comfortable with, particularly playing for England. Is the player brave enough to say, I don't want to play there? By the fact that he might not get a place in the team. But if a player's not comfortable in that position, then you as the manager should know it, and you should talk about it and say, well, you know, he's not going to say no, but you have to make that big decision then. And that big decision is well, you know, am I going to put him in the position he likes and leave that person that I've got there out, and then put somebody who's comfortable in that position? I'm obviously talking more about maybe Phil Foden than I am about anybody else.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when we talk about Trippier's played left back many, many times in his life, and people go on about the fact that he's not got a left foot and all that. Like, I mean, well, as a left back, he's the best left back we've got in the squad. Interesting point from Ian Wright. I was reading about, you know, play Saka there because he's naturally left-footed. That big decision.
Would you? Because when I saw that, I immediately started Googling it. I wondered, has he played there before? He played there for England when he was younger.
In the 21s or the 18s?
I'm not sure. One of them. Would you risk it now? Is it because Ian Wright got a bit of stick for it?
I'm not so sure Gareth's the risky type.
Yeah.
We've not seen much risk, have we? You know, he's been very, very solid, very loyal, if you like, and stuck by these players that are not producing at the moment, sadly. What we expected, of course. So I don't think it's a risk taker. It's also, you know, one of those where in such a big game, because if you get it wrong, there's no comeback, we're out.
Yeah.
If you get it right, you're a hero. What a decision that was. Unfortunately, it's not unfortunate really, that's your job. We're down to those decisions now. Are we brave enough? Not just Gareth, the staff saying, look, my opinion is this is for you to think about. So you've got the sports science, medical, you've got the psychologist, you've got the fitness coach, you've got your assistant coaches, yeah, and you've got sat with those and saying, who is the best? How do we play against the opposition? Yeah, who do we pick to play against the opposition? So the fitness coaches have got some real stats on what they're producing from an energy point of view. The coaches are talking tactically and what system we're playing. Mentally, the psychologist is wandering around thinking about who's not looking the best mentally, who's feeling or looking like they are struggling with it, and absorb all that information, and then you make your right decisions, and then stick by them. But I also, just to finish this bit, you know, substitutes when you've got 5 are the make or break. I've talked about this before in the Premier League, and our substitutions were Minamino 45 minutes, Palmer 71, Trent Alexander 84, and Gordon 89.
So what did you make of those? And were you surprised?
That should have been about 30 minutes, 20 minutes earlier. One at half time, yeah. But the next, after 10 minutes, if it wasn't going right,
yeah,
another 2. And then the third one, probably give him 10 minutes at least. Or by that time, it might be right. You might have scored 2. Yeah, people can turn around and say, yes, Sam, but you might have lost 2. But it wasn't going right, and you had to try and change it. And that's your decision. They're decisions you got to make. And, you know, it's really difficult when you're in that position, because lots of people are saying do and don't. Well, lots of people are saying to me do or don't. But my instinct, and I did a webinar today about team talks from the LMA, which are quite interesting. and of course a lot of all what they were talking about I discovered. But there's one thing you missed out about what your emotions are as manager, and that's your gut feeling. He never mentioned it, and that's so wrong, because gut feeling when you're on that touchline, is the right one.
Yeah.
But of course, when you're talking about sports psychologists and those that infiltrate into that think that's a non-entity. They don't even know what team spirit is. Says you feel it.
Yeah.
You feel what you can't. Scientifically unproven. All right, you're good at your science, like, you know, we like it, you do what you do. But listen to me, this is a major part of football, that gut feeling and the feel of the dressing, the feel of the players and what you think they're going to do.
I've never, you mentioned it before, I've never heard you talk negatively about England.
No.
You're always really super positive.
Yeah.
So I found, I didn't watch the full game. About 80 minutes I was drained and I was a bit bored and I went to bed. Like, has the Slovenia game, is that sort of changed your thinking? Has that pushed you over the edge a bit?
Well, the most positive thing I can say is defensively we're very, very sound and not really been tested any which way. I mean, even look at the goal we conceded. I mean, this was probably the best goal of the tournament. It's 32 yard out, and anybody that said Pickford should have saved it is a waste of time.
Yeah.
That was a rocket of a goal, you know, struck perfectly, went within, well, came in off the post, didn't it? Like, I mean, so, you know, so what a goal that was, like, I mean, so defensively, neither the goalkeeper, the defence, and everybody would have been going in the game, oh, go on, have a shot from there, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be all right. And every now and again, one goes in, probably one in God knows how many thousands if you looked at the stats, you know. But so defensively sound, yeah. So that's the spirit of continuing to do that. And people may talk that as a negative. Oh, he's talking about defence. You know, it's not negative, it's a positive. Because what that means is the opposition are not going to be putting you under that much pressure, not going to be creating that many chances to make you more and more nervous, because you're defensively sound and you keep winning the ball back and playing because you're defensively very good. So you turn the defensive side into the attacking side. There's always two parts to every game. You know, people don't want to talk about defending now. Nobody does. But it's one of the key elements if you're going to win the league, if you're going to win the tournament. It's all about you having a proper, good, if not the best defensive record.
Which is interesting, considering all the questions around England were about pre-tournament were about the defence. So the attack is so good, the attack will be fine.
Yeah, we're a bit weak defensively.
But weak defensively, yeah.
And with like some players, especially fullbacks, you know, missing out, and Harry Maguire missing out, it was a concern to me. But maybe the quality of the opposition haven't been good enough to test us yet.
There is that, yeah.
There is that, because, you know, they have done brilliantly. You know, they've played, I think, more or less, particularly Denmark, I thought played against England probably one of the best games I've seen them play. You know, and they've managed to limit them to little or no chances in the end.
Yeah. So another thing that people have been talking about non-stop, I mean, we've talked about it on the podcast, everybody's been talking about it, is the midfield, and particularly the kind of partnership with Declan Rice, who was going to do it. So we had Trent in the first couple of games, which we questioned. We know you're a big fan of Conor Gallagher. We saw him in the first 45 minutes of the Slovenia game, and then Kobe Mainoo came on for the second 45 minutes. I mean, and I know what you'll say, none of them play Bellingham and Foden.
Yeah.
But of those three...
But he's not going to do that, though, is he?
He's not going to do it, yes.
I mean, you know, I can go on about it all day long until I'm blue in the face, but he's not going to... And it's Slovakia, and in terms of, yes, you need to worry about them in terms of their status and what they are as a nation. They're very beatable if we get it right. And we will come across another team that I think will defend deep. And again, and an extra man moving up gives us more creative ability than we've got with the four that's up there. Let five be up there. Let them interchange the movement. Let them rotate. And then fullback support down or overlap down whatever side they've got, keeping the back door shut. But obviously, if they've only got one up, you've got two centre halves. You've got Declan Rice sitting, and then you can be more creative. But in terms of the system, it's about moving the ball quicker. It's about penetrating through the lines quicker. It's about changing the way you're playing. I think we had 700 passes going nowhere. It fell right into this.
Yeah, no Tippy.
Tappy football got us nowhere. And I think that our lack of penetration, our lack of forward movement, our lack of balls between the fullback and the centre halves, our lack of diagonal balls in behind their centre halves with a wide man coming off the line running behind, it faded away to everything being played in front of the opposition. That then had 11 men behind the ball. So your tactics and what you're going to do is very important to know you're going to play and how you ask the players to play. Is there a fear now? This is the big one for me. Is there a fear now that they don't want to make that pass for the fact that they might give the ball away? And it comes down to, let's keep it safe. But, we can't be safe anymore. We've got to be risky, especially in the opposition's half, especially in the final third. And we've got the capabilities because we all know how capable all our players are. They should be capable in that area. They play against, some of the best defensive in the world in the Premier League, some of the best players in the world in the Premier League, and they break them down, for their opposition and in Europe. So they can do it against Slovakia.
Do you think that Mainoo did enough? Do you think Gareth will start him, or do you think he'll revert back to Gallagher or Trent? Because he's
I don't think
I don't
think they've worked Gallagher or Trent, but that's not just the worry though, is it? I didn't see a great performance from. I mean, we talk back to Harry. He's a worry.
Is he tired, do you think?
I don't know how many games he's played for Bayern Munich, European games, England games. Moving to a new club, taking the family, settling them in, 44 goals in Germany. The team can be blamed for not creating the opportunities for him. We all know, if you're building around your best goal scorer, then how best do we play to get him in the positions he likes to get in? And that's him not running behind, that's him coming deep, and then coming from deep into around the box, or when things are going really well, getting himself in the box in the right areas. He seems to get there instinctively and score, but we just aren't doing that. Because again, I'm saying we're playing in front of everybody far too often and not penetrating the lines enough.
I found it a real struggle watching the other day, especially when you think of the attacking talent that we've talked about. Some of the other big teams in the tournament that had qualified already rested players. So
Portugal particularly, didn't they?
Yes.
Rested 8.
They got beat.
But they got beat 2-0, yeah.
But they still qualified
on
top
of the group, yeah.
And they've rested all those players.
Yeah.
Should England have maybe given Kane a break? Saka, Bellingham, Foden, some of the players that have played huge amounts of games.
We already knew we qualified before we went into that game, didn't we?
Yeah.
So, brave decision. Again, brave decision.
Yeah, because
you play a friendly with England. This is. I mean, other countries give out a lot of stick as well. I mean, I listened to about the negativity about the German results before we started. That got all washed aside by the performance they give against Scotland.
Yep.
Sadly for Scotland, great for
Yep.
lifting the spirit of the Germans, which was really negative before. You know what I mean? You know, but it's hard to say really how it'll pan out.
Yeah. And of course, Germany, they'd already won the group and they didn't rest anybody. Germany kept going.
No, you know, so, but again, that's a brave decision, like I said, because even if you played a friendly and made 8 changes or played some kids and you lost, you get a stick.
Yeah.
But you've got to be able to take the stick and say, for the long-term future, maybe the England side, we test these players in a friendly.
Yeah.
If you lose. You know, I remember I was going to be second year at Bolton, I think it was. We went on pre-season tour, lost every game. Every single game. And this is me as a player. And we got back, I think we went 10 without losing when we started the season. So all this reading of, like, you know, the only thing that happens in a pre-season friendly is getting ready for the start.
Yeah.
But everybody reads into, you know, I think one manager got sacked once because he lost every friendly.
Stop.
I did, yeah. I can't remember who it was. A long time ago. He lost all his friendlies in the pre-season, so they've sacked him before the season started. So I think somebody said today that our lifespan as a manager is 16 months now.
No.
On average, yeah. So you need to be ready for many jobs now, don't you?
Insanely short, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Unless you're Pep or...
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Of course. Thank you.
He
Stay forever. I hope he stays forever.
when he wants to leave.
Yes, exactly. And we're very happy about that.
Or Jurgen Klopp.
Happy about that. Or Jurgen Klopp, yes. So. There's a few of them. There has been a lot of negativity in the press and from pundits. And I think a majority of it justified in the terms of England's performances. But the players and Gareth are being asked about it now. I find it weird because the players and Gareth, they're asked about it, so they have to respond to it. So I feel like we then can't judge them for responding to it because they've been asked about it. But in terms of the way that they've responded to it, how do you think, like, how have you, like, you mentioned that Gareth had done a big interview.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with, you know. By the way, he can come over good that way, though. He always has been able to. Like, I mean. So, and he took his time and thought about it. He didn't rush into it where he would, you know, they're looking for drop a clanger, you know, one they can pounce on, you know what I mean? So I thought he you know, he talked about the negativity and how difficult that is and how, you know, how you have to live with it and so on. So I thought he's brave to speak like that because normally that's like sharpens the laptops to get ready for more come your way, like you mean. But it felt like he had to say it, like you mean.
Did you see when they asked Harry Kane? Have you seen that one? Have you seen his response?
No, not seen that one.
That was good. They said because Shearer and Lineker had called it shh.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're allowed to swear on our own podcast,
yeah,
aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just
that's not really a swear.
Yes,
it's shit.
I'm a lady, you see, Sam. I'm a lady, and Harry was asked about it, and he was very, very composed in his response. Yeah. But he did say that former players need to remember what it's like to wear the shirt or something.
Somebody else told me about that one, yeah.
Like that.
Well, yeah.
But then I think at the same time, Shearer and Lineker are being paid to discuss the game, and you can't lie. Like, so there's like, I don't feel like nobody can win here.
I think in that situation, it's like me. I don't want to be negative towards Gareth and the team. I don't want to be like that. They don't want to be like that. But when the negative comes when you don't deserve it, is a big problem for you. Mm-hmm. When you do deserve it, and you have to say we deserve it. I don't think anybody can deny that, can they? Mm-hmm. But like he's got to keep saying, and the players keep saying, but we've won the group. We've got through. You know. Yep. What more do you want? Well, now I'm fine because that's in the past now. That's behind us. You know what I mean? So you know that's done. We can't change that's done, but we got through with it. You know, Scotland have gone home. Who else has gone home? We didn't expect to go home. There's one or two.
Yeah.
Croatia.
That
You know what I mean?
me, yeah.
They've got good players, and they failed to get through. And so we've got that situation of like, this mentality like that. It's us against the rest. I think that probably Jose was one of the best for that. Mourinho, shut the doors and said they're all against us. We're going to show them what we're made of. That siege mentality. I think that's a big thing. If he can get that, they get the siege mentality into the team. And I think if the team talks together about what they're going to do, not just Gareth and the coaches, but the team itself, I'm sure they'll have a similar thing to I had, where you had a small group of senior players that were the go-between between the manager and the players, like and saying, look, come on, let's get at it, let's get into it ourselves, even if that is constructive criticism, and not if you don't get told you've not done it right, then how are you going to put it right? Even though you might get the wrong, but you've planted the seed, like and obviously each individual takes that information differently. So a criticism can get that player to play better. A strong criticism can get that player to play worse, because you can't take it quite like that. You have to take it with more an arm around his shoulder and say, "Now, look, come on, you're better than that." Whereas, what are you playing at? Don't do that again. You know what I mean? So that could be a big help for the team building itself up to go through farther and win the game and play more like we know we can play. The last thing I'd like to see is play well and lose. You know what I mean? I can imagine that. Imagine we play the top of our game and we're constantly breaking down the opposition, but it's one of those days, it's hitting, it's rebounding, it's going off the bar, the referee's not giving us, and they break away and score, and you go, we've seen the best performance and we've lost, which in our game can happen at any stage, You want Lady Luck to be with you when he gets to knockout stages.
And the knockout stages are here. So we are going to have a little pause on our YouTube podcasters. As the last few, this will be no different to you, but we have our whiteboard in the studio again. So we'll be back in a minute with Sam's starting 11 for the Slovakia game. So for our podcast listeners now, we have our whiteboard with us. We have Sam's starting 11 for the Slovakia game. Yes, I'm getting my sloz muddled up. So for the Slovakia game, you might want to, once you've listened to the podcast, jump onto our YouTube channel. There'll be a specific clip for this, because I'm going to ask Sam to sort of tactically show us on the whiteboard with our player magnets how he would play in this game. So, Sam, could you talk us through your starting 11 and how you would envision them playing in this work?
Well, anybody's seen or watched the podcast, of course, it's not much different to what I've been talking about before our podcast. It's more about who we're playing against, right? How are they going to play, and what we've got to do to break it down, So I'm 4-3-3 again, So we're a 4-1-4-1, whatever you want to call it, But in attacking terms, it's going to be easier for me to get support to Harry Kane, where the extra man push forward with Bellingham and Foden together. Foden in his best position at Man City, Bellingham in his best position at Real Madrid. So out of possession, they can still defensively be very sound and very solid, which England are, because they could both drop in and be playing from there, winning the ball back and then breaking forward. So it would give us the opportunity to get more support to Harry Kane. So if I sort of stand up and say, Harry's been I think we'd all agree, Harry's been isolated, you know, so, and here Saka tends to stay really wide, which is good for the width, good to get the full back on, gets doubled up, which can create a bit of space. But here if we play Palmer on this side and play Foden in there and Bellingham, you know, it could be anything between Palmer coming in to support Harry, Foden going, and that's rotation of positions, which can break down the opposition. Harry likes to come deep, yeah, breaking behind so he can play a ball down. Does the centre half go with him? Yeah, if the centre half comes all the way with him, leaves the space for Bellingham to run in behind, Palmer to get in, yeah, Harry to turn around and get back in the box. Yeah, fullbacks come and join in if it's down this side. So in that sense, fullback would come and join on the inside of Saka, not on the outside. Saka comes in there, he comes on the outside, Bellingham gets in the box. So there's lots of rotation in terms of building the numbers up. Sorry.
We've lost Jude Bellingham, we do not want that.
Building the numbers up to try and create opportunities to score and doing it quickly. And obviously, crosses into the box. One of the major crosses into the box is the pullback. So if you've got players who are coming into the box there, and let's say Saka's on the wide, Walker's come on the overlap there, yeah, then you got the opposite winger up here. Then you get Foden, yeah, coming into the space around the penalty spot, or the opposite wide man coming around. And we see lots of balls in here where it gets cut back there and loads of goals scored on that ball, because you get your back four lining up for the cross, but some find the midfielders fall asleep and leave that space around the penalty spot. It gets a cut back there. But then when you've got players running into the far post and near post, then you've got people on the edge of the box. And so what you're doing now is you're penning the opposition in. So we're rotating the play, and we're keeping the pressure on the opposition. So we called it sustained pressure, sustained success, in terms of that ball gets headed out, we win it, start again, and it comes out, we win it, start again, get down there, re-rotate it, all of a sudden there's that much pressure on the opposition, and mistakes made, penalty, bad clearance, and then we want obviously clinical finishing, and just the way we have to be urgent enough and quick enough to play this ball forward as quickly as we can is a big key to, well, all these players have to play to the best. When they play to the best, they should do enough to win it. If
it's not going right, if it's not going to plan, what changes are you making?
It is radical, you know. I've lived all my life on, you know, making changes that people frown upon. You know what I mean? And believe. I have to stand by my mistake, and the only way it works and you stay in the game as long as most of it's worked before it hasn't. So people can say I've been lucky that way, but you've got to tell the players this, like, if that doesn't work.
So no changing Harry Kane to Ivan Toney.
Ivan Toney.
Okay.
And I'm going to talk to you, Natalie, about this, because you know as well as I do what I'm going to say. The last team to win at Manchester City was?
In normal time, Brentford.
Yeah, Brentford, right. What's that game? So you change tactics completely. Now, the players have to do this. So this is the manager saying to the players, look, if I put Ivan Toney on, right, listen, it goes to him. So when it goes to him, yeah, Foden goes in there, Saka goes in there, Bellingham, Palmer come up, be that way. Bellingham and Foden come up there.
Yep.
Yeah. Full-back are pushing there if it's down this side. Yeah, Walker and that stay the same. Two at the back with the one that they've got up front. It goes up, he wins it. He flicks it on, these two are in behind to win it. He knocks it, chests it up, knocks it to there. Yeah, then it goes wide, then it comes in the box, then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're attacking the box and putting under pressure. Yep. Even if he doesn't win it, the opposition centre half's not going to head it more than 5 or 6 yards, so he heads it down to Foden or he heads it down to Bellingham, and then they play from there. And now he's playing with already 3 who can decide where they want to go, so these can play the ball. Yeah, these can play the puts up. Even Foden goes in the box with Palmer. Yeah, Trippier comes in there. So it's a different way of playing. Yeah, and everybody comes in, but Sam Toney plays direct again. Right, it's a great way of playing to change the shape and tell the opposition what's happening. And by the time they try to suss it out, it's too late. He'll have scored a goal because he is almighty in today's world, which is frowned upon a little bit by being the strongest or one of the strongest players in any aerial battle in probably world football, I'd say. So if you play off him, he can hold it up or he could flick it on, and it's no good flicking it on unless these two have done that, because it'll just flick on to nobody and everybody go, oh God.
Yeah.
These two have to go and run in behind, because these two will be the ones that run in. This is what Brentford did to Man City. Every time it went up to Ivan Toney, yeah, he was brave enough to get 2 people running behind. There's not many managers in the Premier League would say, when it goes up to our front man, 2 players have to run in behind, because they're scared to. At the Emirates, but sorry, not the Emirates, at the Etihad. But that's an alternative to say, let's win the game a different way. And winning is what's all about, getting through to the next round. I hope he doesn't need it.
Yeah.
We all hope he doesn't need it. We all hope we can play to, but it's such a great alternative. The opposition will have no idea how to cope with it.
Have you got any worry about Phil Foden being away from camp for a few days?
Yeah.
So apparently his partner's having another baby. Congratulations to them. Yeah. He's not at camp at the minute. Would that worry you? Would you bring him straight back in?
It would worry me, yeah. Yeah. It would worry me a little bit, like you mean. So there's the adrenaline of a newborn, and that adrenaline will carry over into the game, and you know, the euphoria that gets you through it and go, wow, you know, here we go. And I hope everything in the bird's fine. Obviously, it'd be more worrying if there's been anything untoward, which we all hope there isn't. All hope it's fine. And the travel, you know, the mental fatigue of it. You know, I had my daughter at. Well, not me, I didn't have my daughter. My wife had my daughter at 12:10 on a match day. And I got down to the ground, and I've been up most of the night and just couldn't wait to get on the football pitch. Scored as well. Sadly, we lost to Ipswich though, but you know, you've not, the birth of a child is not what, there's not a worry about whether you're tired or not when everything's okay and you've got a newborn. You're living on adrenaline, aren't you? You know, you might get taken off later on, maybe you might flag a bit after an hour and 10 minutes or so. But you know, if he chokes to him and thinks he's okay, he's not going to say he's not okay. That's the thing. Yeah. Gareth has to make the decision and say, look, I know you're going to tell me you're okay, but I'm going to, based on what you've been through, and I think it's better that we put you on the bench and he comes in. I know you're going to be disappointed, but it's my decision. I'm the manager. You know, my decision, what matters at the end of the day, because I'm the man that makes the final decision. Well, we shall see. So England, Slovakia, Sunday. Give us your prediction for how the game's going to go. Well, I want to see some risk from the players, and I want to see some risk from the manager. So I hope if it's needed, I hope it's not needed. But you know, if it's not going how it should be going, then subs have to come on quicker, and the performance has to be a lot higher quality, and the opposition should, if we play our best, we should beat them. But I'm too frightened to say we will now. Really? I am, because people have defended so well in a pack of 11 behind the ball that we've not been able to break. How many shots has Harry Kane had? How many shots has Foden had? Bellingham, Saka. you know.
I just cannot see a world where all those world-class attackers, at least 2 or 3 of them don't switch it on.
Yeah. You know, in some cases, it has to be a patient game. I mean, Man City play the most patient game you've ever seen because they come across it nearly every week, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, because only Brentford come across and said, "Bloody hell, how are these playing?" We don't normally get that, do we? Yeah, God Almighty, you know what I mean? And it wasn't a lucky win, by the way.
No.
The Brentford one, because a lot of time you've got Man City and you win, you've been lucky. Like, I mean, you've been lucky if you get a draw. So I think that, you know, that the team is ready to give us a bit more in terms of the confidence we're going to build from this game, and they're going to win, hopefully, and win quite comfortably. But I said that in the last game, and it didn't happen. I hope listen, in the end of the day, if they win 1-0, it'll be all that matters in the end.
Right, I've got a list of all of the last 16 games. I'm going to quick fire who you think goes through. So, Switzerland versus Italy.
Italy on penalties.
Really? Yeah, Switzerland were decent. Germany, Denmark.
Germany.
England, Slovakia.
England.
Spain versus Georgia.
Spain. Good old Georgia.
I know.
Hey?
Yes.
Wow.
Loved that.
Unbelievable, isn't it? That's what the game's all about. Everybody likes an underdog, don't they? As long as it's not against you.
Yeah, this is very true, yeah. This is a toughie. France, Belgium.
France.
That's
no hesitation.
Yeah.
Belgium not as good. Lukaku not scoring. Kevin De Bruyne is still brilliant.
Dragging them through, isn't he?
Yeah. So, but I still think the French are, you know, the opposite. The manager knows how to get them through, and sometimes gets them through quite boringly. And that's what I'm saying with England. In the end, if you have to win it boringly, win it.
Yes, no one will complain.
France do it and done it many times. That's why they've won so many titles over the years in these competitions. Haven't always been great to watch or play with a huge flair, but they've managed to win it.
Definitely. Portugal, Slovenia.
Portugal.
Romania, Netherlands.
Romania been a surprise.
Oh, is that your shock one for them?
Yeah, they've been a real surprise when I've watched them play.
Okay.
I think that the distinction of some of the energy of the teams that seems to be so lacking in our team is like, I'm watching and going, look at the energy they're playing with, and then look at us and I go, look how slow we're playing. Like, I mean, now that may be because those two teams are having a go at each other, you know, and it does get slow when one team doesn't want to come out and play and just wants to frustrate you, play on the counter-attack and so on. So, you know, there is an excuse for it, you know, but there's sort of some of the games and some of the enthusiasm, some of the quality of the play and how quick the play is, I've seen with Romania when I watched them. Pace and power, you know, when they're attacking.
Would be nice. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Austria, Turkey.
Austria.
And finally, which team has impressed you the most from the teams in the last 16?
I still think the Germans, because they're on their own soil, and the Spanish.
Yeah, but I think Spain, have not conceded and the only team to win all 3 games.
The next one level in them should be England. Well, should be above them really, but we haven't seen it yet. Yeah. So based on form now, and then of course even though Portugal, they made 8 changes, so it was a big disruption.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at their players, if they all hit it off, there'll be a force. If Ronaldo starts scoring, if Ronaldo doesn't start scoring, it's going to be a bit of a tight game for them, I think.
And of course, England don't have to worry about any of them. They can all fight it out between themselves, and then England, I expect, will meet one of them in the final.
Well, I'd want Gareth to win it, and retire gracefully. You know what I mean? Best manager since
You?
no. Sir Alf Ramsey. Best manager since Sir Alf Ramsey.
Well,
You can get that name whether he is or he isn't. He's there, all done and dusted. He's won the tournament. He's done the job. Was it 6 years nearly, wasn't it? He looks a lot older now already, doesn't he? That's what it does to you.
Yeah.
That's what it does to your heart rate.
Yeah.
Should be on a heart rate monitor. I've been on one before.
I wear one all the time.
Scary what it goes up to when you're on that touchline.
Oh yeah, I got a warning during the Manchester derby. He told me I'd been in high stress for too long. I was like, yeah, it's factual. So I think the kickoffs are 6 and 8, 5 and 7, something like that, for over 4 days. You'll watch as many as you can.
As many as I can. Hopefully, I'll watch them all.
Same. I will try for them all, and then we'll be back.
They're all recorded if I miss one anyway, because there is other things in life I have to do.
Than football.
Yes.
Shock.
Yeah.
We'll film our next episode after the round of 16 is done. So we'll film before the quarterfinals.
That's on the 3rd, isn't it?
Yeah. I can't remember, but yes, I'll go. If you say it is Sam, then I'll be here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we've got 2 left.
Oh, okay. Great. Well.
That's right.
Yes.
Producer?
We look around.
Yes, 2 left.
We do. We do. Okay. So thank you very much.
Look forward to it again.
Enjoy the last 16.
Thank you.
And maybe Gareth will watch us. I'd like that.
Thank you. Our subscribers, thank you very much for watching us all the way through the season and, of course, the Euros.
We do
We hope you've enjoyed it.
Appreciate it. Yeah, if you don't subscribe, if you could go and just hit the subscribe on YouTube, that'd be really, really would mean a lot to us. So thank you so much for watching or listening to another episode of No Tippy Tappy Football, brought to you by William Hill.